Satnam, hello and welcome to another edition of Practical Spirituality. So if you are joining in today or right now, please go ahead and let me know who's coming into class today. I miss seeing all of you in person, and hopefully very soon we'll be able to do that. But I'm also grateful for what this avenue, teaching these classes via YouTube, as we were trying to reach our community, has allowed us to do. It's also allowed us to reach some of you who are not very familiar with us. And seems like this message that we are sharing on this platform is resonating with a few of you. So I welcome you all wholeheartedly. So it is the 3rd of July, and this year we are all, I think, more deeply than ever before, contemplating this idea of independence, of sovereignty. What does that mean to us? And what does that mean in real terms? There's sovereignty, there's freedom to be able to have a nation that is not under any other influence. But what does it mean truly to be sovereign, wholly, completely within us, where we can own our life to such a degree that nothing encumbers it? We can feel the boundless nature of our spirit and allow it to be expressed as it needs to be expressed in our life. To me, that is real independence. And it is a long journey to get to that state of independence. In spiritual terms, that independence, to arrive to that state, is called liberation. So, liberation or independence, same thing. So as we settle in today, as you show up and settle in, hey Brandon, Nadia, welcome, Tony, Scott, Sally, so wonderful to see you. So as we settle in today, I would have you close your eyes and allow your hands to rest either on your thighs or on your knees. And begin to witness this sensation of liberation within you. To what degree do you feel in bondage, and to what degree do you feel that you have sovereignty over your existence, over your life? You have sovereignty that creates the freedom of choice. So just settle in with your breath, and however these words resonate with you, to whatever extent, allow them to express themselves. Slowing the breath down, allowing the belly to expand on the inhale, and allowing that expansion to reach your heart and opening the shoulders. On the exhale, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the heart, and slowly drawing the navel in towards the spine. Let's begin to reclaim our independence of our breath. Liberate your breath from all negative self-talk, all stress that is creating a bondage for your breath. Very gently, very mindfully. One inhale and one exhale at a time. Reclaim your complete breath from wherever it has been bound. And that'll take a conscious will to say, I want my breath back. And that is the first step to begin this witnessing process that we will walk through today. Keep your breath going as I share with you some few insights from ancient yogis. So it is said that we are like an onion. Within layers and layers and layers of this onion, deep within that, there is an empty space. Just an empty space. And that's our essence. That essence is always there. All we have to do is find our way through the layers of the onion, resolve the layers, dissolve the layers, and finally arrive at who we are. So as you breathe right now, allow your consciousness to go through the layers of armor that we were talking about in the last couple of weekends. Allow yourself to transition through those layers and see if you can touch upon that empty space. It's a space, even though it's empty, it's filled with bliss. And your breath can take you there very effortlessly. That is why I begin each class with just connecting you with your breath, connect with your essence, and then this journey becomes much more comfortable. Gently and slowly inhaling, taking your time, not rushing through it. And you will observe all the little places and spaces where stress, anxiety, memories, worries have slowly encroached upon your independence. Check in with yourself with each breath. Become authentically aware of this play of bondage and freedom in your inner world. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to simply close your eyes and zoom through the layers of the onion and arrive at me. After 10 years of practice, I can tell you all it takes is closing my eyes and focusing at the brow point. So the movement has become much more faster. So if some of you who are just joining into this practice, please don't get discouraged. That is our job, to walk you through this day by day, week by week, until you arrive at the place of Sahaj, getting to your essence with ease. Beautiful. Now please take a deep inhale. Exhale. Relax the breath and begin to rub the palms together. Press them together. Press the thumbs against the sternum. Let's tune in the traditional way with Kundalini Yoga opening mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Let's deeply inhale to tune in. Om Inhale deeply, suspend the breath. Continue to gaze at yourself into that void that you're feeling in this moment with your breath suspended. And now very gently exhale. Relax the breath, relax the palms. Could you witness some areas of your life where you feel bounded, where you feel locked, where you feel you have no freedom to move? If something is coming to your mind already, if you have a paper and pen close by or any way to type or write, please do so now, because this will help you begin that journey of witnessing as we go forward. So some things you already know. You know where those boundaries are, where either you or your circumstances have told you you don't have freedom to move any further than this little sphere which you call your existence. And I'm here to tell you today that this sphere, this area, this arena of our existence that we have all settled for in our lives, that is a myth. So we are going to witness some of those boundaries that we create for ourselves in our lives. But if you have something to write down or share, just take a few moments and write that down before we begin. Memories are wonderful, aren't they? Our mind has such an amazing capacity to take snapshots, to take in impressions. And based on these collected impressions over time, we form a sense of ourselves. We literally craft who we are. And that is why probably yogis called it a myth, a mithya, a maya. And the idea is that if everything that we are, we have thought of as us, as our life, as our existence, is based on the concepts of the mind. And if we were to able to change or shift those concepts of the mind, then naturally our idea of ourselves transforms too. The answer to most of our problems, our sense of self-limitation, is this simple. Because any place in our life that we feel bondage, we feel suffering. And to exist in the physical plane, we need boundaries. So let's look at this irony for a moment. Your spirit is boundless. Your soul is boundless. Its effervescence, it is more subtler than air itself. If air can spread everywhere, now imagine what the soul can do. But it cannot have the experiences that it wants in infinite space. Therefore, it wants to limit that sphere, that play arena, and limits itself into a body. So that is the first place where this polarity begins. A vast, unlimited potential encapsulated within a limitedness. The unlimited encapsulated within the limited. The spirit is always free. The soul is always free. But our physical body is born out of physical elements. Therefore, our body has no somatic memory of what that boundlessness feels like. So you see the contradiction. Our body is always afraid. Our body is always wanting to maintain itself, to stay alive. And in order to do that, it wants to limit itself in time and space, because the more it frees itself, the greater the risk. But in a limited sphere, if we have a smaller boundary of operation, then the body feels safer. On the other hand, the soul wants to express its boundlessness through the physical body. That's why the yogi says that everything in existence is based on a polarity. Our mind is also dual. And within this play, we come together to play this game of bondage and liberation. We come into this world free, and yet then we feel hunger, the first pangs of hunger when we first cry. We feel the limitations of this physical body. That's why children, when they cry when they're hungry, it almost feels like they're being tortured. It feels like somebody's done something horrible to them. But that pain is the pain of the unlimited vastness expressing itself in a limited form. So it takes some time for the soul to get used to this body. And as it's getting used to this body, through the senses, we begin to observe our environment. So our environment is the first impression that we receive as to who we are. So beginning with that journey, our family conditioning, the structure of our family is the first structure that we begin to identify ourselves with, and we decide early on the structure of the family is my structure as well, just because we just don't know anything better. So children are pretty okay with whatever that structure is. They really don't have much of a preference until they become teenagers, until they start to rebel against something. So notice, if you remember your teenage years or you have teenagers around you, you will see that there is a certain angst in them. So during that puberty time is when the spirit becomes a little more alive, a little more louder. So the spirit says, I want to reject these familial structures. I want to reject these social structures. I want to reject these cultural structures. They are feeling suffocating. I want more. I want the possibility of the whole world, not just want to be limited in this tiny little sphere. The family says, stay in the traditions of the family, because here you will be safe. There is less risk of being hurt. And both of them are right, in a way. That's why traditions are such a big part of families. If there is a tradition, it is emphasized that you carry forward this tradition. And the idea is, if everybody follows the same thing that someone in the ancestry had already figured out, there's fewer things to work through. So children copy the parents, parents copy their parents, and so forth, and generations have been going, and there's no problem with that. The problem only arises when the spirit says that I want to know more of myself. There has to be more than this to me. That person in the family usually becomes the rebel. And when that first shows up within us, we really don't have a graceful way of expressing it. So it comes out as rebellion. It comes out as a rejection of our family values, a rejection of our social and cultural values. On the other hand, simultaneously, another thing is happening. This body, this being, has a huge need to fit in, to belong somewhere. So you will see that polarity play out in your teenagers as well. On one hand, there's rejection of the family. On the other hand, there's a deep need to fit in, to belong to another clan or class or a group where they find an identity that is unique and individual to them, separate from the family. Now, here's the thing that happens. In order to rebel against the family and the social norms, the teenager is willing to embrace that sense of freedom within them, that liberated essence of the spirit. They're not willing to compromise with that. But in order to fit in, they're absolutely willing to compromise on that sense of freedom. They are willing to get into a state of bondage in order to fit in. And that is the deep anxiety that every child goes through. We know we are more, but we don't know what we are. Interestingly, a lot of us as adults are still carrying that forward, except our rebellion has calmed down. And our need to fit in and belong isn't as overtly expressive. But within us, this contradiction continues to play out. Tony says, one of my boundaries has been when I'm around my biological family members. I'm learning to become freer, and it's been a blessing. And that, my dears, is the spiritual journey. It is a journey where we can walk our path through the uncertainties of physical existence and walk towards a place where we embrace absolute uncertainty, which is the realm of the spirit. It takes courage to make choices that are not already preordained for you. It takes courage, it takes strength to make choices, to walk on a path that has not been tread on before by someone in your familial, social, and cultural situation. And because there are so few people who truly walk on the path of spirituality, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people come to spirituality just to find a space of healing, and that's okay. But that is not spirituality. That is just seeking healing, peace, calm, some relief, some medicine for their pain. The spiritual journey actually begins after that, when you are asked to make choices to find out who you are, so you never ever have to experience pain again. Don't you think that's a good idea? So this journey of spirituality means that I am getting to know myself, not by rejecting what I was, not by rejecting all the places I found myself bound, but by accepting my bondage and then shedding light on it one by one, releasing myself from the grips of the threads that I have myself gotten tangled in. To express that a little more, let me show you something on the board. So within us, our entire physiological, psychological, and emotional journey, this is the yogic stuff, is based on the realm of the chakra system. Our lower three chakras, which are the ones that you see in red, the first, second, and third chakra, these are all based on our physical existence. They are all concerned with our physical existence. So these are all wanting to tie you down, or they're trying to push themselves in towards the heart space. They want to dominate the heart, but only from this existence. The lower three chakras, which are survival, approval, which is the fitting in, and domination, which is the power place. And most of existence lives here. Like I said, our physical body wants survival, it wants safety, it wants protection. Now the realm of the spirit that resides in the body, are the upper three chakras. Chakra 5, 6, and 7. Your spirit is pouring in, trying to express its freedom. It's absolutely free. And it wants to pour in to the lower chakras to manifest its freedom, to manifest what it wants in freedom. But unfortunately, as this play begins and the energy from the upper chakras connects into the lower chakras, it becomes bound. It becomes imprisoned, if I may use that word. This energy gets locked up in the lower three chakras. So the beauty of life is that we are meant to be free and then get entangled in the lower three chakras, imprisoned. And this is where we experience suffering. This is where we experience the pain of life. This is where we make choices and decisions that continue to entangle us more and more and more. Most of the world is existing here. And I can tell you, they are not really independent. The right of freedom to make choices is intrinsic within this capacity of the spirit that pours into our body. It is intrinsic to the spirit, the freedom to make choices, and it is a very unique capacity for the human incarnation. It is our greatest blessing, this capacity to make choices. And it is also our greatest curse because it is the reason for our suffering. And you will ask why. If you were here, probably you would ask, how does that happen? Let me ask you this. That all the choices that you're making, which makes you feel you are free to make choices, that your life is your own and you can make choices, how many of those choices actually are towards the aspects, the dimensions of your life that truly matter? That truly matter. Most of us, most people in this realm are making choices. They say, yes, I have the free will to get drunk until I throw up. I know, been there. I have the freedom to fill my belly up until I want to gag. I have the freedom to choose my path of entertainment. How do I want to be entertained? I can choose a path through which I want to make a living, make money. I think I'm choosing my life partner. I think I'm choosing my girlfriend, my boyfriend. You think you're making choices, but you're really not. These areas where you think you have the freedom to make choices, that notice how small that arena has become. How limited that space is to make choices, to have that freedom. Sometimes when people ask me, what do I need to do to break through this pattern in my life, Priya? One of the first things I recommend is start doing sadhana. Sadhana is an everyday practice that I highly recommend doing in the early hours of the morning when the world is asleep and you can have time with yourself and for yourself. And so they ask me, okay, what time should I start this? And I normally say 4:30. And that's where the freedom of choice begins to show up. They look at me with these incredulous eyes like, are you kidding me? 4:30? Yes. But I can't wake up at that time. Why not? Well, I have stuff. I sleep late. I can't wake up at 4:30. Well, maybe you should start sleeping a little early. Maybe you should let go of some of the shows that you watch at night. Stop looking at the computer or your phone and go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time. But to make that single, simple choice to decide I'm going to sleep early, I'm going to wake up early, is extremely hard for most people. Now, why is that? If you have the freedom to make choices in your life, why would that be difficult? Why would it be difficult to change an eating habit? Do you really have a choice? Are you making choices? Do you have that freedom, sovereignty over your life? Are you exercising that sovereignty when you are picking a partner? Or are you picking a partner out of a need? Is your need one or three of your needs? Survival? I need help in that. I need approval. I need validation. I need to be confirmed by someone. Or I'm lonely. I just want someone in my life. Or I feel powerless. I need someone in my life who can give me that sense of power. And we play wonderful power plays over here. Most of us make our choices when we pick a life partner out of these three places, not out of that sovereignty that arises from the seventh chakra and resides in the heart. So for most of us, there is a hard stop right here for our energies. And this has happened because, as we were talking about the last 2 Fridays, because we play only in this arena and we have not yet really known how to enjoy the safe space of the heart. This is a very safe space, but most of us don't know how to reside here. Therefore, we live in the first chakra, which is all about safety, survival. So anytime we are threatened, we leave our heart and we move right into the first. And this is where we create our armors, one after another, like that, those layers and layers and layers of the onion. So the spirit comes in and gets entangled. It gets locked up. So when we talk about freedom, let's make it clear that we are not talking about physical freedom. We are talking about emotional freedom, mental freedom, and spiritual freedom. What does it take to have that kind of sovereignty over your own systems, your own body, your own choices? A lot of the conditionings, a lot of the structures that you find yourself in, yes, we all have to get up, we all are interconnected, which means there's limitations of time and space. Those are something we can't do anything about. We must devote a certain part of our day towards making a living, which means, yes, we are enslaved to the clock to some degree, sure. We are bound by familial connections, social understandings, yes, cultural understandings. These are all imposed from the outside. These are boundaries that are imposed from the outside. We can't really do much about them until we start exploring some of our own self-imposed boundaries. That's what I'm interested in. Exploring these self-imposed boundaries. And those are all imposed right here. And the more boundaries you impose on yourself, the more you start to separate that sense of freedom from that sense of bondage, because the heart goes under lockdown. So the journey, I know as I'm explaining this, it sounds like, whoa, that's terrible. I wonder how locked my heart is. Almost I can hear your thoughts. But I can tell you, to open to change this is so easy. It's so easy. Because this realm, like I said, is subtler than air, the movement through this journey can be very fast. It's not like plowing earth. Earth is the hardest substance, so everything in the earth sphere moves very slowly, densely. But when you connect to that subtle energy, that's why Kundalini yoga is what we are practicing. It is the most subtlest part of you. And if we can evoke that energy, we can make the movement through this very easy. It becomes within an hour, you can shift these boundaries. You can open this, you can release yourself, you can break free from these 3 bounds and start to reside here in your heart. Since we've been on the lockdown, I get these wonderful emails and calls and say, I love seeing your classes online, but I miss the space of the studio. I miss being in the space with other people where all of our hearts were open together, and that amplifies the whole experience. But like you can tell, I am a big fan of Kundalini Yoga because in my own personal life, that's what it did for me, and so quickly, so beautifully, so effortlessly, that I thought if I can break through these boundaries, and trust me, there were a lot, then anybody can. Why are we not teaching this in schools? Why are we not teaching this to teenagers who are starting to go through this process? Well, because they're not going to listen. They want to go through this process. We have to get entangled in order to unentangle. The journey of unentangling after you've completely messed yourself up is the journey of spirituality. So I hope that makes a little more sense. The idea of freedom arises when these boundaries are open and the heart space is open. That is the key, the heart opening this space. Because when this opens, then the energies from the lower 3 chakras and the upper chakras all get mixed right here. And when this mixing takes place, it provides this beautiful, beautiful medicine, healing, to calm the impulses of the lower 3 chakras. It's almost like the freedom, the sovereignty pours into the lower 3 chakras and says, shh, you're okay. You are fine. You are beautiful as you are. And no matter how much you use those affirmations, you repeat them every day, or somebody tells that to you, if inside of you you don't feel beautiful, if you don't have that freedom to experience your own beauty, then you are always enslaved to the idea of ugliness. You're enslaved to the idea of what is everybody else thinking about you. That is the kind of freedom that I am interested in sharing with you. Let's talk about that kind of freedom. Because if you do experience that, then your outer world will naturally change and shift. Wherever you feel the outer circumstances have created a bondage for you, some traumas of the past, memories of the past that won't leave you alone, once that inner paradigm shifts, you will be able to understand and release the outer circumstances. You will find the courage to say goodbye to some attachments that are not serving you. Say, no, these attachments have become shackles. They have become handcuffs. I thought I would find home here, but instead I found prison. How many of us have done that so many times? In fact, everything we do in life, we are looking for a place to call home. Even in your work, you want a place where you belong. And that sense of belonging offers freedom. And every place that you go to, every relationship you enter into, whether that be on a personal nature or a more business nature, we are still looking for the same thing, a place to belong. And when we have a place to belong, we say, ah, now I can experience my freedom because now I know who I am. But unfortunately, instead of finding that place to belong, we get entangled in, I have to do this, I must do this, or I have no choice. There's nothing called that freedom. Everybody's compromising. I must too. I see that all the time. That compromise is your invitation to bondage. So let's check in with that. And if you have any comments, you're welcome to post them as well. Just check in with that. What does your heart say right now? What shows up for you after hearing this? As long as there's bondage in your life, there will be constant pain. And that's why we create those coping mechanisms that then eventually turn into our armors. And that armor then hardens enough to become our identity. We can't seem to separate that layer, that mask from us. But freedom is an idea where you don't need a mask. Where as you are, who you are, in your vulnerability, in your craziness, in your foolishness, you give yourself permission to be. But that takes a tremendous amount of courage, and that courage arrives by walking on this path. So everything is interlinked. As you write or comment, there's one more thing I want to share with you. Sovereignty, this freedom, comes with its paradox. Like we said, everything comes with a paradox. Freedom to make choice means I can choose right or I can choose wrong. I can choose good or I can choose bad. I can choose pain, I can choose harmony. I can choose healthy, I can choose unhealthy. I am making a choice. With the freedom of choice comes a deep fear of making the wrong choice. Therefore, it feels easier to walk on somebody else's pattern. It feels easier to walk on a map that has been provided to you instead of finding your own. The reason I'm mentioning this to you is because I know a lot of you, a lot of us, have done that, or maybe are still doing that, and we doubt ourselves when our soul tells us, hey, look for your own map. We doubt that voice. But we say, no, I would be a bad person for not following this map that everybody seems to be following. And if I walk off this path to find my own, I'll get lost. But that is the idea of sovereignty. You have to get lost before you can find yourself. That is also a choice. That is a purposeful choice. That choice is more important for you than deciding which car you want to buy next, or how you should find the money to make your next monthly payment on your rent. I know. Existence versus evolution. In the physical realm, safety is the most precious thing. Safety and security. But the yogis would say that in the spiritual realm, safety is the most unsafe place. It's the most undesirable element. Now, they're not talking about dropping your physical security. They are saying if in your inner world, you can let go of the safety of stepping into a new place, into a new paradigm, find yourself in a dimension where you have to craft your own way, and you're looking for that safety, then you will walk on somebody else's path, not your own. But if you can drop that need for inner safety, that will allow you to step on the spiritual path. That is the difference. That is when you take off the mask of spirituality and actually begin to practice spirituality. Okay, I don't have very many comments here, but I would like for you to go through a little exercise. So I'll give you a few prompts, and if you have something to write on, you can just quickly jot this down, and this will be your assignment to contemplate on through this week and beyond. Some of these exercises that I'm trying to bring to your awareness, these are literally keys to your spiritual journey. So please employ them. So here we go. I would like for you to witness and list all of the externally imposed boundaries since your childhood that were placed on you. Like I said, beginning with familial, family boundaries, cultural, social. But please don't judge them. Please don't blame someone for them. Those are essential. Those were meant to keep you safe. You were too little, so they were given to you, so your world seems smaller and safer. But if as adults we are not able to modulate them, we are not able to refine those boundaries, then we continue to operate in that smaller sphere. So let's make a list, something that you can bring to your awareness. What are or were some of those externally imposed boundaries on my life? They could be even from your environment, some of the circumstances that you had to witness or experience. Each one of those could also create a boundary on you. So check in with those. Next thing I want you to contemplate is, how did those boundaries shape your self-imposed structures? Outer boundaries, now initiating your inner boundaries. How or which ones can you observe or witness? The next thing I want you to observe is, which of these boundaries have become your bondage? Which of these external limitations and internal self-imposed limitations, which of these limitations are not serving? They've stopped serving you. Maybe they did serve you in the beginning, but now they've become bondage. So even if you want to change them, they seem to own you, which means to that extent you are not sovereign, you are not independent. So let's just start with these three, and then we'll continue our conversation next Friday. Tony says, yes, it's a lonely journey. Good. If you are experiencing that space of a lonely journey, like you don't want to adhere to some of your older patterns, the older structures, and you haven't yet fully formed the new ones, this growth is very fragile, it's slow. You will, on the spiritual path, find yourself in this no man's land, where You don't want to adhere to the old, but the new hasn't shown up. Please don't get discouraged. This is the space you need to reach out to someone who has walked this path before. You have to reach out to someone. It's a very difficult space to navigate by yourself. And that's something we always tell anyone in our space or even in teacher trainings. That's what teacher training is for, to help you navigate that space. So please reach out to someone that you can trust, that you know is walking on this path, has gone through this path. Just knowing that there's someone there to give you advice. Everybody's landscape looks different, but the situation is the same, and they can at least help you or give you guidance regarding that. Beautiful. So if you have that written down, let's get into a short Kriya. This Kriya is meant to release some of the stored pain of this bondage, this limitation where your soul that wanted to express itself in a certain way at some point got denied, and that pain begins to get stored in your body. So this Kriya is meant to clear that. Please, 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 I know some of you enjoy the lecture part, but don't want to do the physical stuff. In order to make this effective, you must do this. It will create such resilience and strength within you. To walk the spiritual path by leaving the physical body behind is a long, long, long journey. Your body is storing information, so you have to bring it online. So that's what we're doing. A short Kriya, it's not too long, but you will feel so wonderful. I hope you will also get to process some of this stuff within you as you are going through the Kriya. So make some room around you. You will be lying down for some of the exercises. So make some room, make sure you are comfortable, you have a cozy space to work with. All right, let's warm up our spine. Begin with your hands on the knees. So begin to circle from the base of the spine, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Just close your eyes once again. Connect to that freedom of the spirit, of the soul that resides within you. It is so easy to feel its presence. Just connect your breath with the inhale and exhale as consciously as you can. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. As you start to get the hang of this, make those circles a little more deeper and larger. And continue to deepen your breath. Allow yourself to listen to the sound of your own breath. Now imagine that limitation that somehow, somewhere, you placed on yourself. I am not allowed to hear the sound of my breath. When did that happen? Why did that happen? And this is your moment to reclaim that freedom now. I choose to hear the sound of my inhale. I choose to hear the sound of my exhale. And now reverse direction. Continue to deepen the breath. Last few rounds. And now please inhale in the center, spine tall. Suspend the breath. Hold, hold, inhale a little more. And gently exhale. Relax the breath. And gently open your eyes. So here's what we're going to do next. You're going to lie down on your back. You will bend the knees with the feet flat on the floor in the beginning. And then you will raise both your feet and alternately kick your own butt. Yes, you heard it right. You're going to kick your own butt. This is what it looks like. Yeah, I can demonstrate a little. All right, your hands can be by the sides or they can be underneath the hips, however that feels good to you. When you're ready, you're going to alternately raise your feet and then hit your buttocks. Yes, you will. And you're going to just go alternately. Eyes are closed, breathing through the nose, long, slow, and deep. Or you can chant along with the mantra or hum along with the mantra if that is what you're called to do. And you just don't want to kick your feet in the air. You want to bring the heel to the hip. You literally want to touch the heel to the hip if it's possible. We are stimulating certain meridian points in your glutes. So go ahead, raise and kick, 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 strong, strong, faster, faster, faster. It's almost like you're throwing a tantrum. You're rebelling against something. You're raising a rebellion against your own bondage. And let your breath resonate with that. Strong breath. As the body starts to get used to it, begin to pick up the pace. Anytime you need to rest, you can always rest. Please know that about all Kundalini classes. Do the best that you can, but do it authentically. Open up those boundaries for you. And when you need to rest, you pause, breathe, and then get back into it again. There's no problem with that. Come on, come on, kick, clear, clear. We are clearing stored pain. All that pain from the lower three chakras. We've had a lot of years to accumulate it. Just use your breath right now. I promise you a lot of it will get released for you if you really, really invest yourself in this exercise set. Keep going. You have 2 more minutes. Keep up. Strong breath. Can't go anywhere. Might as well just go through it. One minute and 15 seconds to go. Last 45 seconds. Come on, a little stronger. Kick, 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 stronger. Engage your breath. Now your spirit and your body are working together 15 seconds. Beautiful. Inhale, raise both the legs up to 90 degrees. Hold. Exhale. Relax the legs down for a few seconds. Just breathe. Feel what you feel at your heart, at your navel. Just experience what's taking place in your body. And now bring the legs back to the original position as in the first exercise. You will continue that kicking again. But along with that, this time you're also going to make fists of your hands and alternately hit the shoulder area. So kicking and hitting at the same time. Maybe I'll demonstrate it for you. So once again, raising the knees, kicking, and alternately hitting the shoulders. Strong, committed movement. It's a committed movement. So really, really invest in your own transformation. This work you are doing is not for anyone else. It is only for you. And I promise you, it works. Just trust and go through it. Strong breath. Keep going. Clear, clear. If you feel you can feel energy in other parts of the upper chest, you can go ahead and start tapping there. But strong movement. Clear. We are releasing some of the somatic stored information that does not make any logical sense to your conscious mind. But subconsciously, it controls you. So let's clear as much as we can today. Let's do the work. We're not here for too long, about a minute and 20 seconds. I know it sounds crazy, looks crazy, but please do the work. Go through it. You will come to the other end feeling so much more freedom in your body, so much more clearer in your mind, so much more calm in your energy. Last few seconds. Inhale, extend the legs and arms both to 90 degrees, hold. Exhale, relax the arms and the legs down, arms by the sides, palms up, legs extended down to the floor. Keep your eyes closed and breathe and watch, observe what's taking place. Beautiful. Through this Kundalini process was the first time for me personally that my body started to experience what it meant to feel freedom somatically. And I hope you receive the same experience through this Kriya and more. So breathe, receive, this is yours. You do the work, you receive the gifts. It's as simple as that. Inhale. Exhale. Now draw your left knee in towards your chest. Maybe I'll demonstrate it. We're going to do cat stretches to each side. Drawing the left knee towards the chest. You can have the arms by the sides, or you can use one of the hands to draw that knee towards the floor, twisting, turning your head to the opposite side. Twist as far as your body will allow you to, and then switch sides. Opposite knee, right knee in. You can use your left hand and draw your right knee down towards the left side, extending the opposite arm out, turning the head. You keep going back and forth, doing the cat stretch. One side, then twist to the other side, and then twist to the other side, and keep going. Use your breath. Inhale and exhale as you need to. It's a continuous movement, so you're not really stopping or pausing for too long. So just switch, get into a posture, and then switch and switch again. Keep going. Listen to your body, do this twist mindfully as far as you can go, but make sure you are engaging your breath. That is a very important component. Use your breath. Open up that heart area as much as possible. So you're twisting, you're working with the lower chakras, the heart center, and the throat. Strong breath. The more deeper your breath is, the more energy we can move through your body. Beautiful. Go at a pace that feels right to you, but yet is a slightly fast-paced. Twist one side and then the other. Last few seconds. See if you can pick up the pace for the last few seconds. Really, really engage your breath here. And finish the last round. And slowly extend the legs down, arms by the sides, palms up. And breathe. Rest, breathe, feel that space of your heart expanding. Feel the releasing of the lower three chakras from an invisible grip almost. Rejoice in that sensation of freedom. Inhale. Exhale and draw the knees in towards your chest. Rock side to side, massage the lower back. And then begin to rock back and forth on the spine from the tailbone all the way up to the shoulders, and rock back all the way up to the tailbone. Engage your breath. And when you're ready, come sitting up. You're welcome to sit on a prop if you need to in order to keep the spine tall. We don't want the spine to be curled for this one. Roll the shoulders back and down. Interlace both your fingers, both fingers of both your hands on top of your crown, just like this. Elbows out, and you're going to twist, inhaling left, exhaling right. Again, trying your best to keep that spine tall and chest lifted, and that'll allow you to twist completely from the lower back. You'll feel the movement all the way in the upper chest and the upper back. Allow the twist to be as far as possible. And when you feel you have some engagement with your body, pick up the pace. And your breath needs to be strong. Inhaling left, exhaling right. There's something to that power of the breath that almost gives us the courage, the permission to reclaim everything that we already are. We're just claiming our right again, that's all. We are not grabbing it from anyone else. This was already there. This was pre-given to us prior to us being born. All we are doing, we are engaging that breath and we're saying, yes, this is mine. And as you twist, you can also visualize something you want to say no to, something that has been keeping you in bondage, a habit, a pattern, an old narrative that holds you back. Say no to it with your breath. Your breath must convey that message with courage. Beautiful. Keep up. As fast as you can go now. We're almost there. More conviction, more determination. And inhale in the center. Apply a root lock, Mulbandh. Draw the rectum, sex organs, navel in and up as if you're lifting your pelvic floor and lifting it up towards the chest. Keep your eyes closed, hold. And gently exhale, relax the arms down. Allow them to float down to your knees, heart open. Breathe. Do your best to not collapse the heart. And just feel the space that you've opened up, you have reclaimed in your body, in your own emotions. Something's shifting. Own the space. Plant that flag of liberation. Beautiful. Now turn your hands over onto your knees, so you're grabbing hold of your knees. Lift the chest, and you're going to trace a figure 8 with your head. Just tracing a figure 8. Inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. That's all you're doing, tracing a figure 8. If you feel dizzy at any point, you can pause, you can breathe, and then begin again. Go at a pace that works for you. Beautiful. A deep figure 8. Really lift the head, lift the chin, lower the chin. And allow the head to turn over each shoulder. Beautiful. All right, last few seconds. See if you can pick up the pace. I know it's going to feel crazy, but as if you are shaking something off of your head as fast as you can go. You're trying for something to lose scent of you. You're running it off the trail. So come on, fast, a little faster. Almost there, almost there. You got this. And inhale in the center. Pause, keep your eyes closed, suspend the breath. And gently exhale, relax the breath. Open the palms on the knees. And just breathe. What do you experience? Now gently come lying down on your back. You're going to have your eyes closed. You will focus on your pituitary gland. The pituitary gland sits in the middle of the forehead, between the brows, towards the center of the head. If you close your eyes and roll the eyes up towards your forehead, you will feel a spot where your eyes feel very comfortable being fixated. And that is normally that spot of the pituitary gland. That's the place you want to focus your closed eyes towards. You're going to breathe through your nose, long, slow, and deep. And this mantra that you're hearing, just allow it to pour within you through the ears. Let it resonate in the cells of your body. It is a mantra of courage. So allow every cell of your body resonate with it as you focus on the pituitary gland. It takes courage to reclaim your independence over something that has intruded upon your sovereignty. Wake up the cells of your body to that courage. Beautiful.
Chatra chakra bhugte Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Navangam Bebute Chakra Chakravarti Chakra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Yavangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Brahmasi Diyalam Serupe Sedange Sange Abhangam Bebute.
Inhale. Exhale. And now bring your focus to your navel center. And as the mantra begins, I would like for you to begin to pump your navel to the rhythm of the mantra. And this is where your attention should stay for about 7 minutes. This is your meditation. So really actively pump the navel as if it's dancing to the mantra, to the rhythm of the mantra. Keep your eyes closed and focus your attention at the navel. This meditation will release you for so many unconscious places of inner bondage. It's a beautiful process. Just let the navel dance and it does the work for you. Stay conscious, stay active. The mantra might want to put you into a state of sleep, but stay partially present, kind of like a yoga nidra process. Conscious and yet very rested.
Chatra chakra bhugate Siyamba sevam sarvada sarva jugate Dukalam pranasi diyalam serupe Sedange sange nabangam bebute Chatra chakra varti Chakra chakra bhugate Siyamba sevam sarvada sarva jugate Dukalam pranasi diyalam serupe Sedange sange yavangam bebute Chatra chakra varti Chatra chakra bhugate Siyamba sevam sarvada sarva jugate Dukalam pranasi diyalam serupe Sedange sange abhangam bebute Chatra chakra varti Chatra chakra bhugate Siyamba sevam sarvada sarva jugate Dukalam pranasi diyalam serupe Sedange sange abhangam bebute Chatra chakra varti Chatra chakra bhugate Siyamba Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Sriyambam Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Pranasi Dialam Serupe Sedange Sange Abangam Bebuddhe Chatra Chakravarti Chatra Chakra Bhugate Siyamba Sevam Sarvada Sarva Jugate Dukalam Pranasi Dialam Serupe Sedange Sange Abangam Bebuddhe.
Please take a deep inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Deep inhale. Exhale through the nose. 1 more time. Deep inhale. Exhale through the nose. And just relax the breath. Once again, witness what's taking place in your inner world, in your body, your mind, your emotions. Does it feel like you have been able to reclaim some of the space that belongs to you? If you did, congratulations. Happy Independence Day. When you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and begin to rock side to side. And then back and forth on the spine. Engage your breath fully and completely. And slowly come sitting up in easy pose, cross-legged. Place your hands on your heart center and close your eyes. Check in with yourself what it feels like to have this space that belongs purely to you. In this light, in this awareness, is it easier for you to release and let go some of the outer reasons that created your inner boundaries that you have just reclaimed? Vaheguru. Let's send a long time sunshine prayer to ourselves, every facet of ourselves that belongs to the soul, to the spirit, in gratitude, in gratefulness for this beautiful journey we are all on together. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. And let's inhale deeply. To begin, you can chant, you can hum, or you can simply listen and project.
Guide and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all love surround you and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Rub your palms together. Bring them to your face and bless yourself. And bring the palms back in prayer pose. Peace to all. Blessings to all. Love to all. If you experience the power of the physical Kriya today, I invite you to continue this practice. It's extremely important to match a physical practice, an emotional practice, a meditative practice with the understanding of your journey. They all have to go hand in hand to make your progress fast. If you don't have a Kundalini Yoga studio close by, or right now all of them are closed, or some of them are slowly opening up like we are starting next week, you can either show up or please continue to practice with the online studio. That is the purpose of the online studio. Please have a safe, blessed, and a beautiful Independence Day. Satnam.